So the world is freaking panicking about COVID right now and the cases going up. I don't think you should be worrying. I'm not personally worrying. And in this video, I'm gonna be explaining to you my case as to why I'm not worried about COVID and why I don't think you should be worried either. All right, so here is Johns Hopkins website. So we're looking at the US, we're at nearly 9 million cases now, which is just crazy. But one day we will be at like 100 million cases because everybody's gonna get this at some point. I really do believe, and we will just reach that herd immunity. I forget what the number is. We got 300 million people in the US, but in order to reach herd immunity, you gotta have like, 10% or something that have gotten this thing. So anyway, here's the US highlighted. I like to call this our third wave because there's one wave, there's a second wave. Now we're in our third wave. Yes, we are hitting almost 100,000 new cases a day, but here's why that doesn't matter. Okay, why you shouldn't be worried about it. Boom, death rates, daily deaths. Here's the daily death count, okay? We were out of control in the very beginning. Now that this is a good amount of deaths, I honestly don't even really trust this information because I feel like a lot of other deaths were just being counted as COVID deaths, but let's just assume that this is accurate information, okay? This is a lot of deaths happening on a daily basis, 2,000, 2,500, 2,600. Then they come down as the healthcare system starts to get better with their treatments, better medicines, better knowledge and awareness of what this disease does to people and how to treat it and how people can recover from it and all the XYZs and stuff like that. So as you can see, the death rate and the daily death starts to come down and come down. So why is it that if we literally just flash back and forth, like, look at that, the cases are going crazy and the daily deaths are going down. So why should we care if we're getting 2 million cases a day if we're still at a low daily death amount? So let's just say we're at 1,000 deaths a day, which I personally don't believe is actually accurate. I would say if we're actually counting COVID deaths, maybe we're at 600, 500, whatever the number is. Again, we're just assuming that this is accurate data. So if the daily deaths are low, and the cases are at outrageously high numbers, then we're basically just looking at flu season. Okay, people die from the flu on an annual basis, and that's just a part of life. We don't make a big deal out of it. We don't crash the stock market. We don't shut down businesses and go into lockdown. Like Biden is saying that he wants to go into lockdown as soon as he potentially wins or whatever, and just completely, like, lockdown would completely kill whatever small business is left that actually made it through this pandemic. So I really, really hope that we do not go back into lockdown because I don't see this virus as something to really be worried about. Okay, so here's a really interesting little fact that I pulled up here. Okay, so on an annual basis, since 2010, the CDC estimates that influenza has resulted in between 9 million to 45 million sicknesses. People getting sick, right? On an annual basis, 9 million to 40 million people. That's a lot of people, okay? Between 140,000 to 800,000 hospitalizations and between 12,000 to 61,000 deaths. So on an annual basis, the flu is already killing, let's just lump it into 50,000 deaths. Let's just say 50,000 people die annually from the common flu. This year's numbers with COVID cases, well, it's kind of very similar to COVID cases. We're at 9 million COVID cases right now, and total deaths, 230,000 deaths in the US. Okay, that is pretty similar to this. Maybe it's a little bit higher, right? 61,000, 50,000 deaths. So it's a little bit higher than what the regular flu, but again, I don't fully trust the this number right here because I think that they're misclassifying some of these deaths as like, you died in a car accident? Oh, did he test positive for, are they even, if he died in a car accident and he didn't even test positive for COVID, are they just fudging and are they just completely lying and saying that he died with COVID? Like, I don't know. At this point, I'm kind of losing faith in our system. I'm losing faith in this data. I'm losing faith in the media. Anyway, I bet you that the amount of deaths and cases for the flu relating to the regular influenza is going to be like at record lows this year because everything is being attributed to COVID. COVID's getting all the glory, all the blame, everything. And so I don't know. I think the media is just blowing this thing out of proportion. Maybe it's because of the election. Maybe they're trying to make things seem horrible because they don't want Trump to be reelected. So they're kind of just like stirring up everything. And I'm really curious. So election day is next week. I'm shooting this on Friday, October 30th. And early next week, November 3rd, is when we will finally be done with this election stuff. And we will know, hopefully, who our next president is going to be. And then we will see what happens with these cases. Now, I'm gonna be kind of shocked to see if all of a sudden the coronavirus just completely like disappears when this election is done. If it does, then that is going to tell me that the media has been lying to us. They've been completely overhyping this entire thing just because they're trying to make the election go in a certain way, which tells me that we are all just manipulated by the media, and whoever controls the media controls the world. And just wanted to get this off my chest. Let me know what you guys think, if you're panicking along with everybody, or if you just think all this is a bunch of fudge and it's all just made up and overhyped and stuff that we shouldn't really even be worrying about. But thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.